Hello everyone and welcome back to World Tanks with me, Italux, and this is another episode for the World of Tanks game guides. And today we're gonna look at tank destroyers. So, what are tank destroyers? Well, tank destroyers are tanks, usually support tanks, that are capable of doing a lot of damage. So this video will be structured this way. We will have first some tips that I'm gonna give you, positions on various maps that I feel have come out quite often, and then we're gonna watch some amazing replays. So let's start with the tips. So first of all, you are a tank destroyer. Use the cover. You are an ambush hunter. Use cover, whether it's solid or bushes for camouflage. Use the cover in order to first not get detected, and second, cover yourself from enemy shots in case they shoot at you. Second, shoot and move. Reposition. If you shoot always from the same place, the enemy team eventually will figure out where you are, and whether you get killed by artillery or by everyone blind shooting a bush, eventually it will happen. So do not stay in the same bush the whole game, but move around. Third, move if you're spotted. The light bulb that you get with Sixth Sense is death sentence if you're in a tank destroyer, especially in a lightly armored one. If you get spotted, trust me, they will shoot at you, so run away and find some cover as soon as you can. 4. Remember that you're not a heavy tank or a medium tank, okay? Some tank destroyers might have more DPM than medium tanks and so on, might be even more mobile, but you are more vulnerable, okay? Even a Jagdtag with all his frontal armor, the sides are weak. If you get an enemy medium behind you or on your side, you're dead. Okay, you are vulnerable. Stay in the second line. You are not a heavy tank or a medium tank. This, though, I have to say, comes with exceptions. There will be time where it is right to push the enemy line with your tank destroyers. 5. The largest gun isn't necessarily the best one you can get, and the smallest gun is not necessarily the worst. A great example is the Rheinmetall Borsig Waffenträger. As you can see, I use the long gun, which has less alpha damage than the big one, as you can see from here. I use a 12.8 centimeter instead of the 15 centimeter. Why is this? Because the smallest gun has more DPM, more penetration, and is more accurate. Therefore, I like to use that more. 6. If your flank is cleared, push. Even if the enemy team is distracted on your flank, push. Your gun can be of invaluable support to the tanks that are on your flank or in the other flank, because usually you can shoot from one flank to the other if you cleared one. Next, a bit of classification of TDs. I think it's needed, because I would classify them in two major branches, which are those who rely on alpha damage, like the FV215B183, which can literally one-shot tanks, and the ones that rely on DPM, like the Tortoise. Now, those two classes can be divided into classes themselves. They're the same for both, and that is heavily armored and lightly armored. In general, when you are heavily armored, you can be more aggressive. Okay? Heavily armored means that you can take a beating. Like, Tortoise can take a beating if used properly. The AT-15, if it's in a tier 8 match, it's, I wouldn't say unstoppable, but close to it. For the lightly armored ones, can't push, really. You have to wait for the right opportunity, so can't push. Another thing that I would add, another point, and that goes for the tank destroyers that rely on DPM, is track and destroy. Your first shot should be aimed at the tracks, because you want to immobilize your target, or either let your team deal with it, or keep him there so that you can finish him off. So, here now we will see some bush mechanics at work. So I'm currently in my Scorpion G, and I'm shooting a Type 5 Heavy, Tier 10 Japanese heavy tank. As you can see, I can get spotted by him at this distance. So I get behind the bush, get unspotted, he's still spotted, and I can put a shot into him. There. I go back in the bush, because he's not spotted, I spot him, go back while I reload, re-aim, and shoot. Back in the bush to spot him. Wait for the reload. Going back, re-aim, and shoot. Back in the bush. He still cannot spot me. This sixth sense is not going off, therefore he cannot spot me. For the moment, I am invisible to him, while he keeps getting spotted. I go, keep him spotted. Now I shoot while the bush is transparent, but he still does not spot me. This means my camera crew is actually really good. But now that when I shoot again, he will spot me. And this is what happens when you don't do bush work properly. You die, and you die quickly. Very quickly. So I will start the map analysis with Karelia Standard. So when you play a standard mode and you spawn in the north, you usually want to go to the south. Why this? Because if you go to the north is pretty open, so it's hard for you to hide as well as in the south. Plus, I got my favorite spot in the south, especially with a Rheinmetall Bose, some stuff like that with good camo. And that's a bush right here in F0. From here, I am too far away from for their spotting distance. But the heavy tanks stopping here will be spotted by my heavy tanks here, and I will be able to shoot across. The only danger is when a light tank comes down here that can spot me, and that's what you have to look out for, because otherwise all these people here will start shooting you. Once you've pushed through south here, you can go on the hill and shoot their base and across here. And at the worst, if the enemy team pushes north, you can always get down and go and defend the cap. Of course, if you spawn south, it's more or less the same. There is a tree down here in K6 that you can knock over and use as a bush. And that is basically has the same function as the place here in the F0. F0 that does not have a bush, remember. It's just some rocks. In Assault, the attacking team spawns here and the defending team spawns here. What I usually like to do when I'm in defense with like the Borsig is to stay around these rocks or even here and shoot across the south. And if they push the north, relocate down here and shoot all the the A line. If I spawn in south, I usually go up here in the hill, try and help everyone the light that hopefully will go and spot in D4. If no light go there, I'm gonna relocate. I'm gonna first of all have shots of all the people coming across here. Then I'm gonna relocate, probably help the people on the south. Next up is Himmelsdorf and Encounter. I seem to get it quite a lot, so I hope this is gonna be useful as well for you. It's really simple actually in Encounter mode. Whether I spawn north or south, I usually go in D3 and G3 to shoot across everyone, trying to flank my allies by coming here. There's always someone who does this, and at the worst I can push and kill the people that are camping down here. Plus I can also defend the base from this angle or this angle. Next up is airfields. Okay, if I spawn from the western side, I will usually start by camping down here and getting shots across the center here, where usually all the heavy tanks go. It's kind of a meat grinder there. When I see that the situation there is calm or we are pushing, I usually get down and go here in F4. There are some bushes where you can shoot across here and across the hill down here. Once the hill is cleared, I can move up the hill and shoot the base. When you spawn from the eastern side, there is this hill here that you can use. At the worst, you can use this side here, but I do not like it too much because you only get shots on people crossing here. Which does not really happen after you take one shot, because they will know you're there and they will not risk it anymore. So yeah, this location is probably the best to get some shots in the center here. Otherwise, I can like camp here and get shots across here to everyone who tries to push south. This is quite risky though, because it's actually quite easy to get hit by artillery. So, El Haluf, it's a kind of a weird map, but I do not dislike it. What I usually do with my tank destroyers it actually depends from the tank destroyer. If I'm a heavily armored tank destroyer, I will usually go with the heavies and push the north. If I'm in a tank destroyer which can be regarded a bit as close as a medium, and I'm fast, I can get up here in B3 and shoot across to C2 for all the mediums coming up. But then once I take in one shot, I will usually retreat and find another point to shoot across. If you're in a more heavily armored and slower tank destroyer, you can camp here in D7, I believe. No, D6, sorry. D7, sorry. And from here, you can have shots on all the mediums rushing down once they clear this part, and eventually heavies coming down. If the heavies push and don't come down here, there is a small opening here between the two rocks where you can shoot across here quite safely. At least if you're armored. If you're like in a Borsig, that's gonna be hard. You have to kind of peekaboo. From this position, you can also shoot here in the south, where usually all the light tanks and some mediums fight it off. And you can also, of course, shoot across to the other tank destroyers. If you spawn in the south, camp destroyers tend to camp around here and here. The more heavily ones will go in the north and try to push with the heavies. The rest will usually support the lights and the mediums that go down in south by shooting across the tank destroyers and mediums and heavies that are camping there. And eventually slowly push towards the enemy camp. I kind of feel like the north part of this map is a bit more helpful to tank destroyers drivers, because there are so many more possibilities. So, Erlenberg Assault. I keep getting this map over and over again, so I'm gonna cover this. I do not get Standard Battle as much as I get Assault. So when I'm at tank destroyers, I completely forget about the eastern part of the western part of the map, sorry, and focus on the eastern, because that's usually what happens. The team that spawns in south wins the north, wins the west. This team that spawns in the north wins the east. And in order to do that, I usually get to C9, C0, sorry, whatever it is here, and shoot across the road that brings it, that goes up to our cap. From this position, I can also shoot at the hills down in G9 and H9. Once the western part is cleared, I will fall back, get in a bush in A4, and shoot everyone who tries to cap. That is basically my tactic when I play Erlenberg Assault. When I spawn in the south, I usually push with the heavies the eastern parts. We'll usually start by camping in G1 by shooting across to all the puppies that try and defend the eastern side of the map, and then eventually move up and try and get shots across. Mind the fact that sometimes the defending team will try and flank around. So if you see that happening, you can still stay in G1 and shoot at everyone coming across. And then you could actually push back from the south. Mind the time though, because remember you only have 10 minutes for assault. So, Farley Salient. Well, there is just really one position where I would go with the tank destroyers when I spawn in the south, and that is like H1, J1, J2, in order to shoot the 1-2 line. Just find a bush and shoot whatever my light tanks spot. If I spawn in the north, again, somewhere in C1, C2, just a bush and shoot across. If I see a lot of enemy tanks going to the hill, I might actually move towards A0 and shoot on the hill as well. I never stay in B6 because whoever pushes in the middle will be able to spot me. So when it comes to Redshire, if I spawn in the south, depending on the team list, I might go either west or east. If they have a lot of heavy tanks, I would probably go west and try to counteract them by camping down here and shoot across. I will probably tell my heavies to wait in G9 and G0 in order to let the enemy tanks come forward in order for me to take shots. Otherwise, I would start in G5, get some shots across the heavies, and then try and fight off the mediums that will try and get the castle. Once I get shots across here and my position is revealed, I will back off, come down here in K1 and shoot across. Once the castle is cleared, I will move up and then kill the remaining medium tanks that are up this hill. And then the artillery, which will be probably in A1, A2, or A8. If I spawn in the north, I will usually go in the hill down here in C4, C5, and D4, and try and shoot the mediums and tank destroyers that will be on the other hill. Once I've done that and my position is revealed, I might either go to the castle or back here in A4. If I see that they're pushing with their heavies, I might go to A4 and counteract them while they come in from B8. Otherwise, again, I will push on the one line, and then eventually kill the mediums here and go to the cap. So guys, before we go on and watch some amazing replays, I almost forgot about something, which are crew skills. So crew skills, it's really simple. For lightly armored and more camo reliable tank destroyers, you want to use camouflage as the first skill, and then you want to do something that, for example, can increase your view range, get better gun handling, stuff like that. For tank destroyers that are more armored, you want to get repairs, simply because people will track you and then use the time that takes you to repair the track to go behind you. And once they go behind you, especially if you are in non-turreted tank destroyer, that means death. So get those repairs up, repair skills up, and that should help you a lot. If you can see on my tortoise, I recently moved the crew in the FV215B 183. So I'm retraining from scratch another crew, and you can see that my first skill, except for 6 cents for the commander, which I will always put as first skill, but the rest, it's all repairs. While in the Rheinmetallbootsig-Waffenträger, okay, it's my second skill here, but I would put it as first. It would be camouflage. Then the rest I got stuff that increases my view range and stuff like that. Now, let's see some replays, shall we? So, our first replay of the video. We see the Dictator in the Jagdpanzer E100, Tier 10 German tank destroyer. Now, we are on Fisherman's Bay, and what usually happens is that lightly armored tank destroyers will move towards J1, K1, or A1, B1 to shoot the 1-2 line, while the more armored ones go with the heavies and push the city. And the mediums, of course, go in the middle and try and have occasional shots on both flanks. Now, of course, the Dictator is in the Jagdpanzer E100, and his platoon mates is in the I-7. So he's gonna support him in the city. Now, as you can see, the Jagdpanzer E100 is not the quickest of the tanks. This is because it's really well armored, especially frontally. The only real weak spots of this tank are the lower plate and this cupola on top. So, unless you're shooting gold, that's where you should be aiming. So, first shot of the game. Let's see. Yeah. And I believe that was a low roll. Is it 1050 average damage? Yeah, 1050. That was a slight low roll, but doesn't matter. The T-44-100 is dead. So, we're rolling in the city. There is an E75, but no, you don't have a visual. I would push forward now. So yeah, but there are some arcs down there in the building from where you can shoot, in this case, D75 without being shot back. But D75 apparently is not that stupid. Until now, at least. We'll see if he comes back. Oh, there he is. And apparently he is that stupid, so... Boom. Half of his life gone. And this was another low roll. So, I want you to pay attention to what he's doing right now. He is using the body of his platoon mates as cover for his lower plate. Basically, his platoon mates in the E7 is side scraping against all the enemies here. But his side scrape is quite effective also from the position where the enemy I7 D75 are. So he does not really risk anything, while at the same time he's giving cover to his platoon mate in the Jagdpanzer E100. So great play here, I love this. So of course, when you have a gun of that caliber, the reload will be long. Not sure now seconds, but it is long. And wow, that was a high roll. Very nice shot in the I7. And apparently the enemy team is trying to get rid of his platoon mates in the I7 with HE. Someone is firing HE at the I7, so that's gonna take a while to kill him. So he's looking for the I7 to side scrape, the E75 side scrape, so better not shoot him. And there is the I7, and oh, what a low roll! That was a one shot. Ah, that was such a low roll. 899, really? Wow. There is the 112 firing HE. Only the 112 is firing HE. And can you get it? What? You bounced the 112. I do understand that 112 has quite good frontal armor, but what's your penetration here? 299 penetration is not enough to go through the frontal upper plate of the 112 at that angle. Maybe it was an autobounce, I don't know. And of course, you hit the tracks. RNG is kind of fucking you up right now, isn't it? There is the 112 again, firing HE. Come on, you have to put him out of his misery. Do it for your platoon mates. Only he knows. Oh, another bounce. Another bounce. Ouch. Oh, now you're pissed. Now you load heat, which has what? 300 penetration? 420 penetration with heat. You go through everything there. But yeah, I was saying only your platoon mate knows how many modules that 112 knocked him out. Or at least tracked, you know? And there we go. 420 penetration is more than enough. But you got an E75 flanking, and now you've seen him, but you take one hit anyway. This doesn't matter, because you're slow, but you're quick enough to get that E75. There we go. And 1020, let your I7 platoon mate come forward and finish him off. Okay. Now you have to push, but watch out for the ISU-152, he might have shots on you. People in the middle usually shoot down here the street. So the position where the enemy I7 is now is particularly dangerous. If the, in this case, green team would have pushed the middle, that I7 would have been shot by everywhere. By everyone, from everywhere. So they need to push the city. They need to clear the city because they're already losing 6-9. And there are some tier 8s, and the E75 puts a good shot into you. I'm not sure what I would have used that repair kit down there, but well, now it's gone. Anyway, you want to kill this E75. But if you come around the corner, I'm gonna stop here. This is important for all future Jagdpanzer 100 drivers or current drivers. When you go around a corner and you know there is an enemy there, you do not want to go with your your face towards him and then turn, because he's gonna track you and do damage while tracking you. And if you don't have a repair kit or a good repair crew, you are probably dead. What you want to do is get to the angle and then come out side scraping. Now he's baiting this E75 and waiting for his platoon mate to come, but the E75 comes forward and he shoots through the archers, which is beautiful. Beautiful play there. Okay, let's finish these tier 8s now. The FV is a one-shot for the IS-7. T-34 shoots your tracks. Beautiful. And he's got a good repair crew, I have to say. So yeah, guys, in the slow lumbering tanks, have a repair crew because it's gonna save your life multiple times. It's like, do it as your first and put... only exception is the commander that you wanna have 6 cents, but otherwise, yeah. Ooh, the Guerrilla 15 shoots down the I-7. Your platoon mate is dead now. Can you hit him? Can you hit him? He's quick, he's quick and has fairly good camo. Better than yours anyway. Yeah, you wanna wait for your AMX to come and support you, I guess. Oh, there is the Guerrilla. Come on. The artillery takes a swing at you. You're lucky did only 475, probably just a splash. Those American artilleries can do a lot of damage. And there is the AMX. Guerrilla shot. AMX is clipping him, but you still the kill. Fair enough. Oh, there's a Metal Borsig. Watch out, because you might be a one-shot if he's using the big gun. So, where's this Borsig? Again, Borsig has good camo rating, so you wanna watch out for that. Oh, the T-32. He's a possible one-shot unless you roll low. Well, no, you don't. Nice kill there, and Top Gun. And we're already over 9,000 damage. There's the Borsig who does not shoot at you. Lucky. But I guess the Borsig had more bigger problems than you. He's got an AMX 5100 to deal with, and he deals with it. Now you are not sure where to face him, and the T-30 is using the small gun, as we've seen from the... Yeah, see? 445, he's using the small gun. This means he's got a quick reload, well, quicker than with the big gun. So yeah, you went a bit too far back. Still, it's a loss, but amazing replay in any case. 9,406 damage. Simply incredible. Thank you for allowing me to show it, this replay, man. And here we have a second replay in the Charioteer this time, and the driver is Runtrax. Thank you for allowing me to show this replay, by the way. So, the Charioteer. It's the tier 8 turreted British tank destroyer, and this is a perfect matchup for it. We are on, how's it called? Serene Coast. Never remember the name of the map. And with a tank destroyers like the Charioteer, you have to know how to position yourself in the strategic point of the map. And that's what Runtrax is going to do at the start. He's got his little sweet spot from where he will farm quite a lot of damage from the start of the game. And here it is. Basically, he allows the Type 64 to spot for him, or maybe he spots for himself, I'm not too sure. But at this distance, the enemy team cannot spot him, or he can spot everyone else. He falls back just in case he is gonna get spotted when he fires, but he does not get spotted, so I believe he's not gonna retreat anymore. So he activates its binos. There's the Chaffee. Nice shot in there. There's the T69. Ooh, a nice 3 now. Can you punish him? Let's see. From this position, if someone spots everyone who crosses here, or from the bridge, you can have shots on all of them. So I do love this position. I personally didn't know it, or never used it. Nice shot there. But trust me, I am gonna start to use this. So S3. Nice shot. This tank fires APCR as standard ammunition, so it's not gold ammo, this is standard ammunition. Its gold ammo, if I'm right, is Hesh. Yes, it's Hesh, with 210 penetration and 480 damage. And here the penetration is 268, so more than enough to go through the front of an IS-3. So right now he sees that an western flank is falling, so he goes to a position where he can shoot the people starting to come across the railway towards his camp. Can he put a shot in the KV-2 or an E? No. Houses are in the way. And the KV-85 is not that stupid. He will not go through there. And you have something else to worry about right now. The cap. AT-15 and a Scorpion G are the only ones defending. You might want to help them. So LTTB. Scorpion's dead. He's probably spotted at this point. We don't know. He might not be spotted, but it's highly unlikely. Highly unlikely since the Pershing and everyone else is going through the lines. And here's the VK. Nice kill there. The LTTB, can you give a shot? No. He goes for the Skoda T-25. And Pershing, nice shot there in the turrets. Again, the penetration is more than enough to go through that. If you bounce, it's just because the angling was too steep. So it will become an out of bounds at 70 degrees. Your third shot? Yes. Right through the mantlet, nice. So, you see that the base is lost, so you kind of go around, and I think you are looking for the KV-85 to put some shots into him, but you don't find him there, so he must have moved. Now the enemy team is capping, although I believe they're just like going through. Yeah, they want to kill the artillery, so right now it's 3 against 8, 2 against 8. So yeah, doesn't look too good, does it? Anyway, you go again towards your cap, probably to defend it, which is a really good choice. Let's see if you can spot anyone. Your artillery is probably dead at this point, so it's gonna be 1 versus 8, possibly. Yeah, no, 1 versus 8. Wow. This is gonna be hard. What are you gonna do now? So you wanna go to K4 in order to have just 2 lines of approach for the enemy teams, for the enemy team, which is a good choice, so that you can't be sniped from distance. And you lay an ambush. So now we wait. Binos are up. And there is the LTTB. Ooh, spotted you, so the enemy team knows you're here now. Wow. Well, let the fun commence. LTTB is coming for you. You probably will have tanks behind you anytime soon. Can you shoot the LTTB? Is he coming? No, he's coming through the cap, so probably behind you. Or there are 2 in the cap. This is gonna be tough. T69 right in front of you, and he's a one-shot, so yep, easy. Oh, KV-85, and there is the LTTB. What are you gonna deal with first? LTTB, nice shot there. LTTB is firing HE, so you have to deal with him fairly quickly because you have no armor. HE is gonna pen you. There we go. One shot in the KV-5. Nice high roll, since this gun has 390 alpha damage. LTTB is coming. Oh, still high roll, but not high enough. And you're on 2 hit points. Can you kill the LTTB? Yes. Okay, now you have to... Oh, KV-85 fired, so now you got the time to go in and kill him. But watch out, you still have 4 enemy tanks to kill. Whoa. What happened there? How did they not manage to kill him? I have no idea. Anyway, Persian's coming up and he is... possible 3 shots. That's 1 shot. Oh. Sorry, 2 shots, not 3. Pershing misses. Come on. Finish him. Nice. That's... Wow, he turned out 1 versus 8 into 1 versus 3. And there is a KV2, and wow, 1 versus 2 now. What were they thinking? Coming 1... Oh, they did not rush him. They just came 1 at a time. That's something you should never do when there is like 1 tank left, especially if the tank left is like a Unicum. Oh my god. That's what happens. So yeah, as you've seen, the Charioteer relies on DPM to kill its opponent, not alpha damage, not like the Yakbansi 100 that I showed you before. So he is able to do stuff like this. The Yakbansi 100 would have never made it. He just didn't have a reload quick enough. He might have bounced some shots, but the reload, they would have gone behind him and just killed him, really. So now we have to find the artillery and the T-34-2. And they're not bad players. So the artillery was last spotted in A8, so I guess that's where he's going right now. He already has the top gun, 6,000 damage. Let's see if he can do more. He uses binos to try and spot artillery. Nothing spotted. Move on. Try a bit closer. He doesn't want to rush it because the artillery will have the first shot off. So the artillery might kill him. Nothing yet. Oh, and there is the T-34 too. He has to cross the railway, otherwise he's dead with 2 hit points. He is not spotted yet though. Where is that artillery? Oh, there it is. Was crossing, trying to cap. Well, bad luck there. Although now the T-34-2 will know where he is, since he just killed the artillery. It's not too hard to calculate from where the shot came from, especially with the new mechanics. So, Run Tricks will deal with him using bushes. Let's see from where he will come from. He's got... Just want to make sure you understand. He's got bushes in front of him, so he will spot the T-34-2 before T-34-2 will spot him. Unless the T-34-2 will comes from the sides, from where he does not have as much cover. So that is why he is aiming on side and not in front of him. And now it's just a patience game. Oh, and there he is, but he knocked that tree out, so T-34-2 knows he's here. And T-34-2 misses, he's a one-shot, come on, you can do it. I'm not sure about the reload of T-34-2, and he's full down. And I think you bounce or you hit something in front of him. Whatever was giving him cover. So now you have to wait. Spotted again. He fired. Come on. Come on. Yeah, the cupola on top are weak points. Come on. Yes! Nice shot there. Nice shot. 8 kills and 6,700 damage. Amazing replay. Hey guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope it was useful for you. And also, I hope it cleared some doubts you had on tank destroyers. Please let me know in the comments below which tank type you want to see next. And on your right, you have my Facebook and my Twitch account. Go check them out and give me a thumbs up here on YouTube. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. See you next time, guys.